Mixtapers. Yeah, I'm not Alan. My name's Cait. If you guys don't know who I am, I know a lot of you guys, but my name's Cait. And Alan asked me to fill in for him today. So hey. So this week, I'm going to talk about something that you guys haven't really talked about at all. You guys have covered guitars pretty well and, you know, all the technical, fun editing stuff, and you guys are doing a great job at it, but you guys have left out the most important instrument that everybody has. It's your voice. And you guys haven't talked about it, so I'm here to talk about it. Hi. Okay, for those of you who don't know who I am, I feel like I should start off letting you know that, like, I actually kind of do know what I'm talking about. So don't be like, whoa, what's this girl talking about? I don't know why she's here. I went to school for music for 2 years for vocal performance, and I have an associate's degree in it. I'm not, like, pro, but I know I took voice lessons for over 5 years, and a lot of this stuff is stuff that I've accumulated over my voice lessons and performing for ages and ages. So here are my top 5 tips for you guys. Listen closely. Tip number 1. The first thing that you have to know about singing is how to breathe correctly, because let's face it, you can't drive your car without gas. So what you have to do is you have to have good posture, and I know you all know what good posture is, but when you're sitting, you sit up straight with your shoulders wide, kind of push back a little bit, and just make sure that you're like, back is off the chair if you're sitting. If you're standing, you're going to have your feet like shoulder width apart, comfortable stance. Same thing, shoulders down and back a little bit, and then straight up and your chin straight out. So when you start to sing and you go to breathe, your shoulders should not be moving. If you take a breath like that, bad, don't do it. It means you're breathing in your lungs and it's going to cause a lot of strain. And breathing, no, strain's bad. Don't move your shoulders at all. What you're going to do is you're going to breathe from your diaphragm, which is that little like center area right underneath your ribs, right under your rib cage, and you're going to breathe from there. When you breathe, your stomach should act kind of like a balloon. You breathe in, it fills, it expands. And when you breathe out, it contracts. Easy, simple. Just do some easy breathing exercises. Pay close attention to where the air is going. And once you get that down, then I think you'll be pretty set with the breathing. It's not too difficult, you just have to be aware. Tip number 2. So when you go exercise, you don't just, run out the door, do you? I hope not, because it's really bad for you. You're supposed to warm up first. Before you play an instrument, you gotta play a little bit so your fingers are warmed up. You gotta warm your voice up too. It can be anything from some simple solfege. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, ti, la, so, fa, mi, re, do. Or you can do something a little more fun. Yeah, na, 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 oh, way, oh, way, oh, oh, way, oh, way, oh, yeah, 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 yeah. So make sure you warm up before you sing. Very, very important. Tip number 3. I see a lot of singers do this, and it pains me to watch it. But a lot of singers clench their jaw when they sing, and it's very tight, and it's just, it causes just a lot of strain in your chin and in your neck and in your shoulders and in your back too, believe it or not. So you really need to make sure that you loosen, just do kind of like exercise, loosen your jaw and keep it loose and pay attention to your jaw while you're singing. Something that helps if you're having trouble with this is my voice teacher used to make me do this when I sang. And even though it sounded funny, it got my jaw used to not being clenched. Simple, but it works after a while if you practice enough, just like anything else. Tip number 4. This is something that helps me a lot. I don't know how many people actually do this, but when I sing a song, if I'm trying to hit like a certain note that I'm having trouble with, I visualize the note. Not necessarily like a note on staff paper, but just the note, like just something like, oh, here's this bubble of sound that I want to hit in my head. It's there. And also, I have to visualize the sound coming out of my mouth in this direction. Don't let it sit in the back of your throat, because that'll also cause you a lot of strain in your neck and your shoulders. You have to kind of force the sound out, like It's kind of like a hook motion, kind of up in this area of your mouth, like the top teeth, nose area. Trust me, it works. If you visualize it coming out of there, then it's not going to cause a strain on your throat. And that's very good if you sing a lot, because you might lose your voice, like I do a lot. So definitely visualize where the sound is and where the notes are, and it helps. Tip number 5. This is something that I've been reiterating through all of these tips, is pay attention to what you're doing. Pay attention to your breathing, pay attention to the sound, the tone that's coming out, and pay attention to, especially if you're singing lyrics, pay attention to what you're doing there. If you're off in space, it's not gonna sound good. Nobody can make their voice sound good on its own. You have to put in the brain power to make it sound good. So those are my 5 tips, and since you've made it this far, you get my super secret singer's tip, which helped me on many, many occasions. I used to be a rowdy college student and would lose my voice quite often. I'm not saying I was the smartest person, but it's what happened. And I remember very many recitals that I had where my voice teacher would be like, you need to go home and do this now, and hopefully when you come back later, it'll be okay. And I made her nervous sometimes. But if you really don't have much of a voice and you have to perform, suck on lemons. Might not taste fabulous, but it works. It's not a long-term kind of thing, it's just maybe a couple hours it'll work for, but it tightens your vocal cords up and it keeps them tighter, so when they vibrate, they're not like, blah, 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 they're like there and doing their thing. So those are all my tips for you guys, and before I go, I really want to give you guys a challenge, because you guys are doing a really great job and I love watching all your tips and tricks and all the fun things you're teaching us how to do, and I'm actually like really learning a lot from you guys. But I thought it'd be time to do something fun. So my challenge to you, mixtapers, is to make a continuous song. Now, some of you might know this as kind of a continuous story kind of thing, where maybe one person will tell part of the story and they'll stop, and then the next person will carry on with the rest of the story. I want you guys to do that with the song. So, like, one person would write a verse, and the next person would write a chorus, and then another person would write a verse, and then maybe you could reuse that chorus, or you can change the chorus. There's no rules in songwriting. Or somebody can do a bridge, or another verse, or anything like that. I really want to see you guys do this. I'm not really going to put a time limit on it because I know everybody's pretty busy, so hopefully before you guys are done, I will see a continuous song. So I think that'd be really cool to have you guys all collaborate musically together. So I'm pretty sure that's all I really wanted to cover with you guys today. If anybody has any questions, feel free to hop on over to my page and send me a message. I'm pretty sure I could probably help. And yeah, so Bill, we'll see you tomorrow. Oh,